nothingness. Nothingness is the basis of existence. It all depends on what you are. It all depends on what is the path that you have chosen. If your chosen path is a path of self-realization, if your chosen path is of spirituality, then you have to simply live with your weak will because it is in your favor, in your best interest. If your chosen path is the path of seeking pleasures of body, even then you have to learn to live by accepting the fact that God wants you to have limited pleasures of body. Because God doesn't want you to get dragged into too much sex and too much of indulgence in pleasure seeking activity. Because God has in store for you something that is superior, something that is of higher altitude. It is said that when Jesus was washing the feet of Peter, Jesus said, "What I am doing, you do not understand now, but you will understand later." The weak planet that you or anyone who is listening to this podcast has need to realize that this is the part of the process, the plan through which God wants you to go through, because God knows what is best for you. Weak Venus is good, aggressive Venus is bad. Understand the difference. They were the difference. Just the Venus playing alone in Virgo with absolutely no negative aspects on it is a good sign. But a Venus associated or afflicted with Mars, Rahu, Ketu is not a good sign because it impacts the sexual behavior. The person is either too much into sex, thinking always about sex, or does sex not by the sexual organ but by using the finger, to which in Indian context we address as husband and wife, meaning penetrating the vagina by using the finger and not the face. So many such instances happen long that a woman has come and she was very upset. When asked, she said that her husband always does sex by using his finger and not his face. Sex is not bad, but it becomes bad when Venus is affected by Rahu or Mars in a negative way. Even for Venus Rahu or Venus Mars, there is a positive angle, just the way there is a negative angle. You cannot deliver anything because, as I mentioned before, everything is a situation and with just a change in placement, many factors change for good or bad. If human beings consider themselves as intelligent, but before God, their intelligence cannot work. The children are always children before the Father who created them. And that is what Albert Einstein says. Before God, we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Probably Albert Einstein is the only scientist who believes in God. He goes, the more I study science, the more I believe in God. Those who try to manipulate matters of life are not in the true sense believers of God. A true God believer would never try to strengthen or weaken or do any kind of manipulation with what God has provided in wisdom. Trust is accepting what God brings into your life, whether you understand it or not. A woman said, "My lover left me. He dumped me. He simply left me forever. He didn't even bother to let me know that he is breaking up with me." Situations change, and man or woman has absolutely no control over it. They laughing out in the sky because the black magician starts feeling as if he has become the god. It is like a child, a foolish child who starts believing that he has become the father. Many people are magicians and many have manipulated matters of their life by using such manipulated black magic spells. But in the end, they have suffered terribly. So much so that is beyond the power of words to express the terrible state of their life that they eventually end up with. A young man once paid 40,000 Indian rupees to a black magician. His sister's Venus was weak, marriage was not happening, and to pay the money to the black magician, the black magician performed his magic. Within 4 months, his sister got married. Everybody was happy. They all saw how smart they were, how smartly they had manipulated the script written by God. And God was watching. God was smiling because God knows everything. Exactly after 6 months, his sister got divorced. No matter how much you try to manipulate using all kinds of black magic or voodoo spells, you cannot become God. You cannot become the writer. The writer is God. And when God writes, it cannot be erased. If you try to erase, then you will eventually find yourself in a mess, a deep mess. But who wants to live? Life should be lived by accepting all that God provides you with a sense of gratitude. A man becomes a Buddha the moment he accepts all that life brings with gratitude. People are not willing to accept. The questioner is also not willing to accept the fact that his Venus is weak. What is wrong in accepting? But people cannot understand, and because they cannot understand, they go on rejecting, they go on rebelling. They forget the fact that they can progress only when they go with the flow and not against the flow. Once you learn to accept the weak planets in your chart, life starts changing for good. And this is fact, a proven fact. The beauty of acceptance is beyond the power of expression. Someday, you all should read my book, Beauty of Acceptance. Interestingly, weak planets bring abundance of money, whereas exalted planets bring abundance of good qualities, guna, within the illusion. The scholars project the Lord Rama horoscope with all planets in exalted state. Now tell me, what good did they do for Rama? Because half of his life went in the jungle and the army of Ravana. So exalted planets have nothing to do with the luxuries and money, but have only to do with quality and good. Exalted planets mean exalted superior quality, superior value, superior principle. In today's age, the more corrupt you are, the more money you have. The history is ordinary thinking, but that is the reality of this. Hello? Start doing my dear. Children, huh? What time you got up?